this is a crazy entry here, and you really need to have kind of a fine-tooth comb approach with each competitor, because the differences in initiation, whether it's an Osbo using one side of the course going to the next,
right,
straight line approach, long e-brake pull, like there's just so many things that you have to adjust to because we don't constrain the drivers on their initiation approach.
And you got to think how much track time Dean has had here at Road Atlanta compared to Brandon. I mean, he's got proper angle, and Brandon
he was just
coming in hot.
He was just starting to get on throttle. And I could see the judges saying maybe Dean is getting on throttle a little bit late. You don't see the apparent smoke until after the inside clip, but his wheels were definitely moving. And I think you could probably say he was getting on throttle there. But, yeah, this is a tough one.
Oh, boy. We got Nick Fosekis. He's texting me some things right now. Our director's making claims right now. What do we got, Kemp? Okay. All right, Nick Fosekis on the building, tuning in, watching. Hashtag FDATL at Formula D on IG. A lot of info just streaming in, coming in. Dean Carney, Brandon Sorensen. Man, that sun drops. It gets brisk, and I really think that's going to play another role as far as a variable for these drivers. And Dean, he was notably one that said, I've been driving on the same tires for 10 years, and now I got to change them? You know, like.
That was pretty good. You went halfway on that.
Yeah, I didn't go full on.
Yeah.
I didn't go full on. Yeah.
Yes, this is a tough one, Jared. I mean, I think, you know, the judges are now ready to speak to us, so let's go ahead and open up their mics and see what they have to say.
Yeah, this is a really tough one, guys. It comes down to our momentum map, and this year we're pretty lucky that we actually made it on an actual aerial shot of this track. The momentum map ends right at inside clip number 1, and we had to watch over and over again to see when Dean pulled that handbrake the second time, and it looks like, to me personally, it was before inside clip 1, and he was back on throttle at the clip. We say the absolute latest point in time you can get back on throttle is at the inside clip, and it looks like he was just back on throttle, and Sorensen got on throttle and kind of got into him. So it depends how the other judges are going to look at it. We analyzed it independently while we talked about it. I think we have different opinions on what occurred, but we'll see how they put their votes in. So there are a few different ways that can go. Sorensen got an incomplete in his lead by going off the track there, and now it's down to, is this Dean's fault, Sorensen's fault, or shared fault on this one? And that determination will determine how we go forward from here.
Well, it does look like 2 out of the 3 of you are decided. We just got the last judge's
survey
vote, so here we go.
Yeah.
So Dean Carney, there it is. So Dean Carney gets the win, and it was not unanimous. So Brian Egger and Ryan Lontaine say Dean Carney. So elaborate, if you will. Chris went against the grain here and said one more time.
Yeah, he believed that second handbrake pull was the one that did it for Dean, that made
So
him
he
at
put
fault.
up a roadblock.
Basically, yeah.
That's Chris's perspective.
And I'm kind of with that. You know, this was a close one.
It is a close one.
I could totally see it going both ways.
Yeah, and unfortunately, and unfortunately, Brandon made that mistake on the first run. But hold your head up high, man. I mean, just for again, Formula Drift rookie coming into pro,
top
talent,
16
years
event.
old. Like, yeah, come on.
It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Hats off to Brandon Sorensen and the Sorensen Motorsports team, 212 Performance. But Dean Carney, we'll move on. Ryan, absolutely amazing event so far, and we are already more than halfway through the top 16. Jeff Jones made it. Look at that. Jones, the relentless one, 818, is in the building. So now, who is Dean Carney going to be going against? Will it be the Rockstar Toyota Supra Frederick Osbo or the 818 Edelbrock Nissan Z of Jeff Jones? All right, so Carnage moves on. All right, so we have 5 vehicles already in. As I said, Field versus JTP, Gittin versus Eve Meyer. And this was a really good run here with Osbo out front. You saw Jones. Ryan, walk us through it.
Yeah, Osbo, silky smooth. Look at that little tap right there by Jones. Super aggressive by Jones, keeping Osbo within relative distance to himself. That's what you want to see. You want to see that aggressive driving. But Osbo, as he is known for, laying down the gauntlet on the lead run and making it a really uphill battle for Jeff Jones here, who's got to focus so much on that lead run and try to get as close to what Osbo did. And he is certainly capable of that. He had a good day yesterday, but Osbo is also going to be in a position where he's going to want to stay aggressive to Jeff Jones.
Oh, man, people around the world watching. Jeff Jones, his wife in the building, Osbo. Don't know where Hunter's at, but here we go. Jeff Jones leading. Frederick Osbo giving chase. Jeff Jones initiating into that first front clip. And look at that transition.
Wow.
Well done. Look at Osbo just nicking that course marker. Jeff Jones swinging for the fences. Fills that second outside zone into that second front clip outside of the keyhole. Oh, Jeff Jones shot it outside wide. Then tries to tighten it up there on that touch and go. And then Jeff Jones across that front clip. Man, what do you think? Riley Ongpin, JP Ongpin, you guys are watching at home. Riley, shout out to you. How's it going, homeboy? Ryan, what'd you think of that run?
It does not get much closer in terms of proximity than Osbo to Jones from initiation to outside zone number 2. And watch the transitions here. Boom, snaps it right there. He's in the pocket, super close, charging up right up to Jeff Jones. May even had a little tire rub there. And again, getting right in the pocket here into that second outside zone. Jones fills it. Osbo takes a tighter line, so that was one of the little sacrifices or compromises. But then he goes a little bit wide. He has to work his way back to the touch and go. He goes a little bit late there. Osbo adjusts as well. And another great battle between these two veterans of the sport. Osbo really keeping the pressure on all the way up the hill, making that tiny adjustment in outside zone 2 to take that tighter line. Jones kind of tricks him a little bit, goes wide out the horseshoe, and Osbo has to quickly react to that. And we finish things up with now the judges taking a look at both runs. So Jeff Jones, again, continuing to impress us, and Frederick Osbo on a tear so far here in 2021 from qualifying into his battles here. We will find out if Frederick Osbo is going to move forward or if it's going to be Jeff Jones. But before that, let's take a look at a side-by-side and see if we can learn any more truth here between Osbo and Jeff Jones.
So the side-by-side, I think, is going to be the real indicator, because we had, we had some time in between. So now I think this is really going to be the true indicator. I am absolutely just impressed. Oh, wow. Yo.
Is that a problem?
Got that stance lap on that back right. All right, here's the side-by-side, Ryan. The BC Racing, go for gold.
Yeah, you can see Osbo's initiation a little bit different than Jones's. Osbo, big angle there from the onset. He's been impressing with that initiation, but Jones not letting him get away. Osbo a bit tighter, makes a little bit of an adjustment there. Good job by both guys in that second outside zone. Jones super tight on Osbo at inside clip 1. This is where Osbo takes advantage of Jones shooting wide, but then Jones is able to push out ahead again. So good battle here. Nothing left on the track between these two guys. I don't remember it looking like that.
No, I don't know how that happened. Is he on airbags? I know he's not. All right, so here we go. Slide him left for Osbo, right for Jones, and we got Jeff Jones getting the win. Is that correct? Is that correct? Jeff Jones getting the win. So Jeff Jones takes down Frederick Osbo. Look at this, Lontaine. That was unanimous. Look at Jones. So Lontaine going to turn on the mic. Want to make sure?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay.
All right. So looking at what happened with Jeff Jones, did a great job in his lead run. You could see Osbo, maybe it happened around outside zone number 1. We're not sure where exactly, but you could definitely see his car was affected by something. He had a couple of corrections coming up to outside zone 1. The car straightened up a bit, and it really happened leaving the keyhole here, going downhill. You can see his car, I think he straightened up before his transition going to inside clip number 3 before the finish line. That definitely affected his car. We don't know what happened exactly, but like you said, you could see it at the top of the hill there. The right rear, something was broken. Jeff Jones just did a better job in his chase, too. He was mimicking Osbo's line. Really good proximity. So Jeff Jones did a great job on his own, but he was given a little bit of a gift there by having Osbo's, whatever that was, suspension brake in the right rear.
He might have hit the rumble strip or something.
Yeah, but
that was his back left.
It was his right rear that
back
was broken.
Right.
Yeah, so we don't know exactly what would have affected it. Maybe it was something from previous, that stressed a suspension arm or something. But good job for Jeff Jones getting through.
Yep. Here we go. We're back to the action. Odie Bakshis going against that of Travis Reeder. Whoa, well, look at that. Reeder jumps into formation. Absolutely frazzled by that. Ooh! Reeder overcooks it now. Again, Ryan, this seems like a different Odie Bakshis in 2021. Travis Reeder debuting this new car. Odie Bakshi's loud and proud, just nasty with it. Look at that. Odie Bakshi just seems absolutely possessed. And you pointed it out early, Ryan.
Yeah, so important, Jared, to get a good start from that first inside clip. And Odie Bakshi was able to do that pretty consistently here. He rolls into it, nice smooth initiation, nothing overly aggressive. Reeder's coming up super hot. He drops the two right tires and onto the grass there and really comes unstuck for a second. Odie, meanwhile, is maintaining a really good line out front. He's consistent. He went a little bit wide on that inside clip, which allowed Reeder to catch up. But we are seeing that those mistakes, those little tiny mistakes that are made, it could be a millimeter here or there on that approach to the end. And it looks like Reeder might be broken.
Yeah, he is calling a competition timeout, actually. So
you look at see how the car's moving around.
Oh, yeah. Weeble wobble.
Wow, yeah, so he is calling a competition timeout now. Let's see if we can get one more look at it. But it looks like on the approach, Reeder just got himself into a little bit of trouble behind Odie. And we've seen that drivers just going a little bit too hard in the chase position, trying to anticipate where that lead driver is going to go. I mean, this would be a lot easier if we told everybody how to do a straight line entry e-brake. It would be super predictable, right?
Yeah.
But we would lose a lot of the passion and the fun of these drivers.
That's the X factor.
Yeah, of the way that they want to initiate. And it also makes, I think, the spotter's job that much more important, right? Let's do some scouting reports on how Odie's initiating, how Osbo's initiating, how Reeder's initiating.
Right.
And that becomes part of the game. So it will be a competition timeout for Travis Reeder. Jeff Jones, obviously a big celebration right now, who is hanging out with Lorette. Lorette?
Guys,
got it fixed.
Look at the smile on this man's face. He was cylinder. He got it fixed. Jeff Jones, the team got it fixed, took down a Titan in Osbo.
Yes. Oh, man. Taking Osbo down to get it 8 is always the best 8. And right now, the rest of you guys better get your game ready because I'm coming for you. If I get past Osbo, the rest of you are cake, bro. I'm excited. We're going to send this. Jackson's got the tools ready for the supercharger. We're pulling that sucker off tonight. We're sending it, bro. Sending it.
Jared, back to you.
Yo, it's electric. It's absolutely electric. Love Jeff Jones. There's Greg giving a little hug there. And, he says, anybody else? Anybody want some of this? Let's go. So, love it. Congratulations, Jeff Jones. You're going to meet Dean Carnage Carney in the next battle. And, Ryan.
Jared, here it is. We pulled it back up to see if we could get a greater look. There was one little straightening aspect from Frederick Osbo. Let's see if we can identify where the broken part may have played a role in Osbo here, straightening and really giving this win here to Jeff Jones, who deservedly got it because he really challenged Osbo. But Ryan, the straightening was the up the hill part. That was the big one. All right, so yeah, he was saying we think from that point forward he may have had that broken right rear, and we noticed that when we were sitting at the start-finish line. But nonetheless, congratulations to Jeff Jones, and his post-event or post-battle interviews are always the best.
They are probably some of the best. And look at that. We are 3/4 way done with top 16. Jeff Jones, Dean Carney. Next up, we have that the second half of that battle. Odie Bakshi's Travis Reeder. He called that competition timeout. So he called the TO, the NGK competition timeout. As we are in the Royal Purple Top 16, Royal Purple, the synthetic experts, the official engine oil of Formula Drift. Here's another look of Reeder and Odie. And Odie making it look easy. Gets to about the half point of that second outside zone. Wraps it around. Just pulls strongly out of the keyhole. And Reeder just seems a little bit frazzled, a little scrambled just from the jump on that first inside clip. So here's Odie on initiation. Goes across the nose, throws it in. You see Reeder goes off, and there's that right, that left. So his right got into the kitty litter, but he does pull it out in that Link Engine Management BMW. Hey, there we go.
Yeah, really
Nice
tricky situation there. Yeah, so tough, especially that smoke line plays such a role in that area as well.
Yep, not a full send. You got to do baby send, little baby send. All right, when we come back, we have 2 more battles left in top 16. We won't find out and tell who's going to win here at Atlanta. The one, the only Road Atlanta playing host to Welcome to the Royal Purple Road to the Championship, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta.
I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro Driver, and today we're going to talk about Royal Purple HPS and what actually goes into it. There's a lot of talk about additives, and Royal Purple has its proprietary Centerlick technology. It is fortified with a high level of zinc phosphorus anti-wear additive for exceptional protection against heat and wear. Its high film strength improves sealing between the piston ring and cylinder wall for maximum horsepower and torque. Royal Purple HPS, race car technology for the street.
At Holley, we're gearheads too, so we decided to create a one-stop shop for all things automotive, a place we call Motor Life. Motor Life is Holley's new completely free digital magazine that houses the how-to stories, car features, news, and videos that car folks love. To check it out, head on over to motorlife.com, and don't forget to subscribe to our Motor Life newsletter so you won't miss any of this great car-centric content.
Formula Drift is brought to you by Air Force, Aim High. Type S, official lighting sponsor of Formula Drift. Lights, camera, power, fun. And GT Radial, experience the performance. Ryan, I'm getting some messages here from a few spotters, and they're saying that his spring came out and sitting up at the top of the track. That's why it's squatted down outside zone 2. So yeah, the rumble strips probably launched that thing out of the car. Thanks, Brandon.
That's some strong intel.
Yeah, that's why I love IG, man. Just it's really great. So yeah, I love it, love it. So as we are high and tight up here, and there it is. Look. What do we got there?
Yeah, that's looks like a spring or something. No. Yep.
No.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's a spring. Yep, you're gonna need that.
Yeah.
You're gonna need that. Definitely.
Get your car dumped.
Definitely need that. Yep. So the Rain Man, Spring Man.
Mm-hmm.
No yawning there, Red Boy in the flannel. No yawning, bro. No yawning, dog. Oh, man. Yeah, we got some. Oh, no yawning in the yellow hoodie either. You in the yellow hoodie and the black hat. I see you yawning, bro. There's no yawning and drifting. You guys having fun? Make some noise, Atlanta. That's what's up. Thank you, guys and gals. Look at this, man. Absolutely. Oh, anybody going to any other future Formula Drift rounds? Anybody going to any other Formula Drift rounds? Join us out at E-Town.
Come on down to Florida.
Come on down to Florida. Yeah, in 2 weeks. Come on down to Florida. I know dudes that flew in this morning at 2 a.m. from Florida. The Taxi Garage boys. They flew $79. They got tickets last night. Flew out this morning. $79 round trip.
That's what they would say is keeping it real.
Yeah, that is the realest as they come. Here we go. Next up, here he is. A lot of anticipation, but Castro is no pushover. Jonathan Castro, Adam LZ. Jonathan Castro here in that Toyota 86. He looked absolutely feverish going against Josh Reynolds. Adam LZ had a little bit of help there from Dan Burkett. Adam LZ doesn't look, the car doesn't look completely settled. He looks nervous, for lack of a better term. Like it just seems anxious a little bit. What do you think?
Who wouldn't be? You know, I mean, this is a high-pressure situation. Doesn't matter if it's qualifying. This is one of the most marquee venues. One of the most marquee venues in the history of the sport, and one of the toughest, for sure. So I think all the drivers are a little bit nervous. You could at least make the argument that the beginning of Top 32 expressed that in a certain kind of way.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So Castro whips it back around. The reason? Jump the light. Nice. This guy. Great sign. Okay, you want me to retire? Okay, I'll retire. No big deal. I just saw that sign. Solid. All right, you come up here and announce. Let's see how you sound. You won't. All right, here we go. Back to the action. Jonathan Castro, Adam LZ. Jonathan Castro will lead. LZ give a chase. We got a clean start. Castro comes in across the nose of LZ's S15. Down to that front clip. Oh, LZ, great composure there. No nervousness whatsoever as Castro now comes in that first outside zone and the second in the keyhole. Both of them filling that second outside zone. Oh, man, LZ being absolutely soaked in smoke. But still, so from whatever happened in 32 to now here in 16, you know what? I said he was nervous. Not whatsoever. No signs of nervousness now, Ryan.
Good battle here.
Yep.
And, you know, as the chase driver, you're really trying to make a prediction and then make those adjustments on what the lead driver is doing. Castro getting on the throttle well before that first inside clip. Good adjustments there by LZ. We saw the clipping cone kind of flying around a little bit. LZ surging as Castro goes deep into that zone. Good move by LZ to follow the line. You can see he went out there to that second outside zone with Jonathan Castro. Big angle by Castro right before that transition coming down the hill. Nice job on the touch and go. LZ back in it here and driving blind through the smoke line and through the finish line there. So great first half of the battle between Jonathan Castro and Adam LZ.
Man, you got to love the boys at Lean Customs. They're making pins for all the racers and all the Formula Drift 2021 vehicles. So check them out at Lean Customs Pins, the custom pins, L-E-E-N. Absolutely legend dudes. Lean Customs, check them out, L-E-E-N Customs. All right, let's switch it up now. Adam LZ will lead. Castro will give chase. You can see the lights just barely through the smoke. Yeah, it's smoked out. Through that start chicane, no cones were hit, and there it is. Quite a better view with that long camera. And now Adam LZ into that first front. Massive angle there, running a backy into that front clip. Castro gets thrown offline. LZ with the S15 into that second outside zone. Castro taking a bit of a shallower line. Adam LZ showing you why he's 2020 Rookie of the Year. And one more clip, nasty snap by LZ.
A little more comfortable.
Woo! Yeah, a lot more comfortable. And I think the fans would agree. Even as fans, I think it looks great. Really good run there by Adam LZ. I think Castro might have gotten shocked on that initiation.
Some real points of differentiation, right? You have big angle initiation through that first inside clip, back on throttle, and then aggressively moves up the hill here, getting to that outside zone 1 and 2. And you can see he was on throttle right there at the beginning of outside zone 2. Castro struggled a little bit coming up the hill with LZ. Now he's starting to close the door a little bit, but LZ throws big angle through the touch and go, and then a nasty flick back around, which he throws right at that angle, holds it through the finish line. And see right here, he could have totally flubbed that.
Right.
And we saw that with the Denofa battle, where big angle can be a very risky maneuver, but LZ was able to pull it off pretty well there. And then he had some other strong points throughout this run, especially things like this, coming down the touch and go, snapping it back around super fast through that final inside clip. And taking a look at the overhead, we'll get even a better perspective. Nice fluid transitions by Adam LZ. You can see a little bit of a reduction. See how he kind of twists on the axis there, but snaps it right to angle, holds it, and maintains momentum. So great job by LZ in the lead position. Castro, a great lead of his own. An awesome battle here for the judges to digest.
Yeah, this was to be the final battle of top 16, but not the case, because we will have to go back to Odie and Reeder with that competition timeout.
Look at this. Look at this. How that happened.
That was fun. Oh, Adam LZ's in the chat on YouTube.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, that was solid, dude.
Yeah, just drifting and chatting.
Just drifting and chatting, living the dream. Great job, Adam. Really, really well done. Great run by Castro. All right, let's shoot some more holes in it. Both had, again, great lead runs. I think it's really going to come down to the chase again, Ryan, as they were talking about earlier.
Well, we got the ever popular BC Racing side-by-side requested and coming up. I'm going to focus my cognitive capacity on the chase runs here.
Okay. We got that long shot, so this is where it gets interesting.
Castro on the right in the chase, and LZ on the left. LZ a little bit tighter on the chase coming up the hill. Castro surging, keeping it close on the right-hand side of your picture. LZ, big angle in the lead run. Castro kind of matching it, then having to back off. LZ looking close through the touch and go in his chase run, and surging towards Castro on the finish line. Man, these guys are laying it down.
All right. So it looks like Eggert says Adam LZ. Adam LZ gets the win. LZ unanimously gets the win. We'll get Lantain with his headphones here. We'll get his ear cups on. And Ryan Lantain, hopefully you're on. What's up? Yes.
Good. Yeah, Adam just did a better job overall. Did a better job of mimicking what Castro was doing during his lead run. He was mimicking the line, and he didn't really make any compromises throughout the run. Unfortunately, Castro in his chase was not mimicking the line as well, especially coming up the hill towards outside zone 1. He was quite a bit inside, and Castro did drop a few tires, which we see as compromises in the chase position, kind of cutting the course a little bit, trying to maintain that proximity. So that's what kind of did Castro in. I think it was 1 or maybe even potentially 2 tires at inside clip 3 just before going to the finish line. So had Castro kept it a little bit cleaner, kept it on the track and mimicked the line, maybe it would have been a little bit tighter.
Right on. Thank you for the insight there. Yeah, great effort by Castro. Really liked what LZ did, and he is deserving of being in the Great 8. I know he's got a lot of fans watching, and I know Castro does as well. So here we go. Odie Bakshis gets a run here, minus Travis Reeder. Unfortunately, he could not make it to the line. So Odie Bakshis gets the win here in Falcon Tires S15. All right, so here it is. We have our Great 8. Our Great 8 is been shaped. And here is how it lays out here as, man, just an absolutely beautiful sight in more ways than one. Odie Bakshis advances on. Here is your bracket. Matt Field, First, Justin Pollock. That's an all-Falcon battle. One Corvette, one Mustang. Von Gint Jr., another Mustang, going against first time ever, not only top 16, and now in the Great 8, the Drift Force driver, the BMW Yves Meyer from Switzerland. Jeff Jones defeats Frederick Osbo and moves into the Great 8. Dean Carnage Carney takes out Brandon Sorensen. Odie Bakshis, who we just saw, and one of the crowd favorites, Adam LZ. When we come back, the Great 8 is upon us here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. The Royal Purple Road to the Championship, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Made in Japan. Breed.
Yo, Chelsea, the coloring on our NGK spark plugs looks incredible for handling 1,200 horsepower.
Yeah, I know. I've been telling you for years. I've been running NGK plugs, and they're awesome. Did you know that NTK is part of the NGK family? And they make all sorts of sensors like O2 sensors, temperature, pressure, position, and ignition coils.
I did not know that, but maybe we can talk them into making proximity sensors to help you with your bumper budget.
Now available at Advanced Auto Parts and CarQuest Auto Parts stores.
The Pedal Commander is the world's most advanced throttle response controller. It's a plug-and-play unit that unleashes the power of your vehicle. Has 36 total settings, is easy to install, and makes the driving experience so much more fun.
Picks up RPMs way better, kind of like a race car, it responds.
Order now and use code FD2021 for $30 off your purchase.
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
Formula Drift is brought to you by BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift. Go for gold. And by Falcon Tire.
Welcome back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. We are in the midst of the Great 8. Matt Field versus Justin Pollock. Von Gittin Jr. versus E. Meyer. Jeff Jones taking out Frederick Oswald, going up against Dean Carnage Carney, and Odie Bakshis and Adam LZ rounding out our Great 8. Jared, it has been a crazy event so far as we see the drivers preparing brand new set of tires to battle into the night here at Road Atlanta.
Only thing I'm missing from the back end of Matt Field's vehicle is his pit bike. I don't know if you saw that. He did Drift Week, and he was drifting with his pit bike on the back on a receiver. It's absolutely awesome. And, I know he's all about that Dogecoin right now, too. Dogecoin to the moon, baby.
Yep, so that's 75 cents.
Speaking of the moon, there's the sun setting off in the distance. And it is crazy to think, Ryan, just the progression of Formula Drift back in '04, and Alex Pfeiffer and Sam Hubinette doing battle. That's just a battle that stands out in my mind.
Strong.
Tiger. Remember Tiger back in the day? His S13. Calvin Wan.
Taka Aono and Sam is another one here.
Yep.
It was the overheating days.
That's right. Yeah, those things are just absolutely overheating. But and I'm not making light of it. Those, as I put a post up before coming out here, I said, make today a good old day. We'll look back at this and say, man, remember 2021 when it opened up and everybody was absolutely bananas and bonkers and there's awesome driving? Make today a good old day.
Yeah, you never know when the good old days are.
Nope.
You'll just look back like, those were the good old days.
Yep.
We might be in a good old day right now.
That's what I'm saying. Make today a good old day. In due time, today is a good old day. All right, speaking of good old days, good old boys, we got Matt Field and Justin Pollock, our first battle of the Grade 8. Teal and blue all over the track. It's a Falcon lose-win situation here, but which driver's going to come out on top? The bow tie, the Corvette, the flags of Matt Field, the Beast from the Bay, the Drift Cave head caveman, Captain Caveman, going against JTP Justin Pollock. JTP and that Falcon Tires Roush Performance Ford Mustang. Absolute rocket. So this should be a fun one. Both these guys, you know, they go for the backies, they go for the style, they go for the amplitude, that X factor, and there we go. Matt Field will lead. JTP chasing him down. Whoa, little shots fired there. What? That was odd. As look at this, Matt Field composed, massive angle from him. Justin Pollock regains his composure, and now up the hill into that second outside zone goes Matt Field. JTP taking a bit of a shallower line here. And a hiccup there from Justin Pollock, now coming back down the hill into the touch and go. Now Justin Pollock looks just maybe out of sorts. I don't know what's going on here. So question is, did Matt Field kind of get in the way? No, right? Because he was a lead car. Matt Field's a lead car.
Lead driver has, remember this last year in St. Louis with Osbo. You can see Matt Field is able to move over and utilize the course as the lead driver, and Pollock made a very aggressive move to move out of the way. I don't think he was super close. It may have caught him off guard, but it put him in a situation where he was basically playing catch-up up until this point here. He surges forward to the inside clip, gets pinched off a little bit, goes out onto the grass, and then watch right here. He's going to have a little understeer for a second. Made it work, but not the greatest chase run in terms of having to play catch-up. You want to be in the pocket from the get-go, putting pressure on the drivers and not worrying about mistakes that you have to fix.
Right.
So now we'll switch things up. Justin Pollock goes to the lead as Matt Field now moves to the chase position, which looks like he's got a bit of an advantage here going into the second half of the battle.
All right, JTP out front. He has the clean air, no disruptions, no other vehicle in his way. Let's see how he fares out front. The winner going against either Von Gitt Jr. or Yves Meyer. And Pollock slowly crawling out of that start chicane. Justin Pollock, oh, look at that. Tit for tat right as Pollock initiates, so does Field. Field takes a little bit of angle out of it. Now heading up the hill into that first outside zone. Both of them, no major errors. I like how it's going. Good flow, good proximity from Field. He knocks over that inside clip. Now into the touch and go. And Pollock around that final clip, using all of the track, Ryan. Good run from both these guys. Look at the flames shooting out of Pollock's vehicle.
Well, second half of the battle, pretty fun to watch here. That was an opportunity, I think, for Matt Field to shut the door and do it distinctly. I'm not sure that he did that, but he probably did enough here. Let's take a look at it. Justin Pollock back on throttle before inside clip one. Matt Field trying to attack coming up the hill here, but Justin keeping him at bay. Field makes a little bit of an adjustment there as now they re-enter the horseshoe here. You can see just the dynamics of the car, backing forth, braking, making adjustments. Field through the smoke line, trying to stay on the inside here, doesn't want to get lost. Here it is coming out of the horseshoe. You can see Field does make a little bit of an adjustment, and so that's what the judges are going to be looking at. I think the chase runs by both drivers were not the exclamation point chase runs.
Right.
Lead runs were pretty good both ways around, but it's going to be weighting of those mistakes.
I think we're really splitting hairs here, and you know, yeah. Oh wow, quickly. Look at this. Slide him left for Field, right for Pollock, and it looks like Matt Field gets the victory. Matt Field moves on to the Final Four, and look at that. His mantra and his mindset is working out for the Beast in the Bay. Justin Pollock, as his day and evening has ended, but a great effort for him. Great to see him running and looking strong.
Yeah, so far it's going to be an interesting championship lineup. We've got Matt Field, our first driver, into the Final Four. Gittin and Meyer up next. Pollock with a grade 8 exit, which is pretty good for him to start off the season. Obviously, he is always wanting to be a championship contender and has been right there for the majority of his career. We've got Jeff Jones and Dean Carney on the other side, and then Odie Bakchis and Adam LZ. So some new names.
Yep.
Some guys that we expect to be up there, but Road Atlanta never surprises.
Nope. So Yves Meyer going against, I mean, look at this. Yves Meyer started his day going against a champion, Michael Essa. Yves Meyer going against Ryan Turk, who, you know, has finished, I think his best was second, correct, or third? At least last year was third. And then now he's going against the defending champion, Von Gittin Jr. This is absolutely pinch me moment for the Drift Force BMW. We got Event Silberg. Have you tried announcing the Event Silberg? No. From Switzerland.
I keep that stuff to you.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. But from Switzerland, Yves Meyer, an absolute gem. Him and Reynolds having a great addition to the Formula Drift family. Great vehicles. And speaking of Matt Field, the Drift Cave has prepared those vehicles the last couple of years. Von Gittin Jr. waits on the line. The Monster Energy NATO Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D.
Okay, Yves, here's your possibility for an upset here.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
See what you can do.
Absolutely. And if you want to drive Von Gittin Jr.'s car, you can in Torque Drift. So Von Gittin Jr. is in Torque Drift, so you can download the game, play for free. So check it out on Android, PC, iOS. Play with 10 of your friends. It's awesome. Drive Von Gittin Jr.'s car. We are in the Link ECU Top 8, the Great 8. Link ECU, the official engine management unit of Formula Drift. Red lights are illuminating, and here we go. Let's send it. Von Gittin Jr., Yves Meyer. Never doing battle against each other as Von Gittin Jr. goes towards the middle of the course, and as we said, the lead car has the right of way. Massive angle there from Von Gittin Jr. lifting that front left tire. Oh man, Yves Meyer getting christened in smoke. Into that second outside zone. Oh, we got contact. Von Gittin Jr. stays in it. Woo! Make some noise, Atlanta. Wow, we got rubber on rubber contact, but Houston, we do not have a problem. Yves takes one of those cones as a souvenir all the way home. Ryan, let's take a look at that again in the horseshoe. The Broncos, the Mustangs were bucking.
That was a murderous run there by Von Gittin Jr. You can see the squat of the Mustang. He's back on throttle with massive angle through inside clip number 1, then going up the hill. Let's take a look at this contact here, which Von, he doesn't even seem like he gets phased by it. And I thought maybe he had a broken part, and maybe he does on the right front, but absolutely drives out of it like there's no issue at all. As he's transitioning right here, you can see he makes contact and just stays on the throttle like an absolute beast.
Yeah.
And then extends his gap to Yves with that apparent mistake that was made there, and Yves steals our cone all the way up to the start line. Here it is again. We're probably going to see a really good view of it here. Watch the right, yeah. Oh, left front and right front collide pretty much head on as Von was trying to manage his way to that inside clip. Wow. Crazy, man.
Door to door, it says it on the roof of Yves Meyer, but it's wheel to wheel, face to face, mono a mono. Look at that, Von just pulling right back up. Take a lick and it keeps on ticking. And I know that Von, you know, in the offseason, I mean, hey, feels good. It feels good, right? So I know they developed their suspension arms in the offseason. They were really working on those things. A big CNC. I mean, they're beasts.
Like Gumby style, like you hit them and they just go come right back.
Yeah, they take a licking, man. But no, they're stout. They're really beautiful pieces of artwork. So, wondering if Von will call and calling a comp. So yeah, it looks like they might be calling a competition timeout. Okay, cool. So no comp timeout was called because fault was deemed towards Meyer. So Von is allowed to look at his vehicle without utilizing competition timeout. So here is a look at the bracket. Matt Field is already in. We are halfway through the Gittin and Meyer battle. But before we move on and find out what's going on, throw it down to Lorette Nickel, who's with the Beast from the Bay.
Well, Matt Field and I were just talking about the track and how technical it is. And going from outside zone 1 to 2, it's a blind uphill. So, Matt, what are your visual cues there?
The visual cue starts at the transition after interclip 1. As soon as you get that transition done, your focus point is kind of where the horizon disappears, right? And we kind of see the bridge, we see the zone, and it's more or less, once you get into the zone, that's when you have to do whatever you do. Some people left foot brake, some people grab the handbrake. just depends. So I kind of have found my marks of what needs to happen where, and I just try to do the exact same thing no matter what. Even if my instincts tell me otherwise, just do the same thing.
Hey, Matt, thank you so much. Best of luck. Jared?
Thank you, Lorette. Right, he seems like he has a different demeanor here, just in regards to just his demeanor. I don't know, just showing up here in 21.
It's appropriate confidence based off preparation.
I like it. That's a great elaboration there, Ryan. I like it. Well done. Well done. That summed it up perfectly.
Because you can have inappropriate confidence.
Why are you like staring right at me and seeming that I have inappropriate confidence? All right, let's move on. Back to the second half of this battle. Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Yves Meyer. The second half of this battle. And Yves now will be out front with those menacing signature RTR LED grill lights in his rear view mirror. All right, the Type S lights are on, underglow. And now into that first front flip. Here comes Yves Meyer. Vaughn Gittin Jr. chasing him down. Now pass, taking all the cones, eating them up like pack pellets. Now into that second outside zone. Yves does not get all the way out there, and that was a line he took with Vaughn Gittin Jr., and that's what actually caused the accident. So it looks like Vaughn maybe giving himself a little bit of room here and might surge here towards the end. No, he does not, but he knows he has that kind of advantage, so didn't really need to apply the pressure too much.
Well, the interesting thing about the contact is that it really didn't disrupt Vaughn at all, so
No.
it's not really going to be a major deduction for Yves. It's really going to be about how these two runs come together. Vaughn was not affected, and Yves was aggressive, yes, but what Yves did not result in Vaughn making a big mistake. And so, if Vaughn was one of those guys that would have flopped in that situation, then we'd have a completely different scenario, but that's not what Vaughn does. So now the judge is going to be looking at both runs, how they both competed against each other, who hit the marks as the lead, who had the better chase run, looking at all those things overall, and then coming up with the winner. But it's a great battle overall. Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Yves Meyer putting on a show for everybody, and now we await the judges' results.
Have to assume the needle is going to go the way of Gittin, but a great effort by Yves Meyer from Switzerland. Let's make it official. Slide him left for Gittin, and there it is. Vaughn Gittin Jr., defending and two-time Formula Drift champion, gets the win and is moving on to the Final Four. Yves Meyer from Switzerland is knocked out. How we doing out there, Atlanta? Make some noise. Still a stout crowd there, Ryan. That is a, what do you say? Something about confidence? Something about confidence? Appropriate confidence. Thank you. All right. That is appropriate confidence. Hey, my director wants to make sure you guys are still there. Are you guys still out there? Make some noise. I saw you, young man. You and the shaggy haircut on the fence. You got to make some noise, bro. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Yeah, you just stood there. Man. I need you to get hyped. This guy got his Ariat hat on. There you go.
You got one for
all right.
you.
Yeah, just calm down, bro. Homeboy in the DC shirt. Who else we got out there? Hey, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Moms, grandmas. Happy Mother's Day. We got those Royal Purple banger sticks. Oh, these guys slaying it. Big Jeff Gordon fan right there. Getting after it.
That was a crank.
Ferda. Doing it for the boys. I'm going to change our status to it's complicated. Thank you guys and gals for joining us out here as we are going to the other side of the bracket of the Great 8. We are in the Link ECU Grade 8. And we are overhead looking at Dean Carnage Carney, Jeff Jones. He's on the line, dude. Look at this. He says, I went through Osbo. We're getting ready to, again, you do know this, Ryan, that if he wins, he takes his Edelbrock Supercharger off the car and takes it on the podium with him. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so if he wins, they boop, 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 and they're taking the supercharger.
And what's the backstory there?
Just he loves the thing, and that's what got him to where he's at right now.
That's how he gets it done.
That's how he gets it done.
I mean, the guy's so epic that it just
does not surprise
totally
me.
Follows. Yeah,
does not surprise me. Dean Carnage Carney, I don't know what he's gonna do. He's gonna do backflips, and he's gonna shut down the bar. I think that's what he's gonna do. Oh man, here we go. Jeff Jones, 818 Brewing, Edelbrock, GT Radial. Then you got Dean Carnage Carney, Oracle Lighting, Dodge Viper. All about carnage with a K. Here we go. Jeff Jones will lead. Jones qualified 18th. Carney qualified 26th. He's one of those late eights. But now he's trying to birth a podium finish. Jeff Jones initiates into that first front clip, and Dean Carney comes in hot, makes contact with Jones, but Jones stays in it. Now coming to that first outside zone, into that second outside zone goes Jones. Look at Jeff Jones, absolute beast. Coming through that touch and go, and then that final inside clip. Ryan Sage, a great battle here between Jones and Carnage.
Oh, wow.
What's going through your mind right now? You're just kind of looking at the screen.
Well, okay, honestly,
Yeah.
what was going through my mind is I was thinking back to Texas last year when we said, wow, Jeff Jones, he could potentially get his first podium.
Yeah.
And now we find ourselves in this same situation. Let's take a look at the run first. Little love tap there from Dean Carney. Stays in it, but Jeff Jones pushes, has to do a little bit of braking there. Let's take a look at it again. This is where the decel zone ends right there at that inside clip. Jones is able to muscle through it. And now Kearney through the smoke line, has to pull some angle out of the car to get back on it as Jones gets into outside zone number 2, a little bit shallow, pushes wide on that inside clip. That allows Dean to take a little bit of ground back. Now coming down the hill here is Dean eyeing him up, smartly staying out of that smoke line, but he does miss the inside clip that Jones was able to get through, and we are seeing Jones pull off to the side there. I think he is going to talk to his spotter and potentially find out who was at fault for the contact. I'm pretty sure that it will be Dean, and that will allow Jeff Jones, just like Vaughn Gittin Jr., to take a look at the car. But at the same event in Texas, just going back to what we were talking about, we also had LZ get very close to a podium as well. And so we find ourselves in a very similar situation here. We've got Jones, who you mentioned qualified 18th, LZ 27. So we're going to start keeping an eye on these because as we move into the Final Four, qualifying position will determine podium position for at least one guy.
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. So, yep. All right, while we get things sorted, you can see the flyover here of the hot grid area. We'll be right back. More action when we return here to Road Atlanta, the Royal Purple Road to the Championship, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro driver, and today we're going to talk about Royal Purple HPS and what actually goes into it. There's a lot of talk about additives, and Royal Purple has its proprietary Centerlick technology. It is fortified with a high level of zinc phosphorus anti-wear additive for exceptional protection against heat and wear. Its high film strength improves sealing between the piston ring and cylinder wall for maximum horsepower and torque. Royal Purple HPS, race car technology for the street.
At Holley, we're gearheads too, so we decided to create a one-stop shop for all things automotive, a place we call Motor Life. Motor Life is Holley's new completely free digital magazine that houses the how-to stories, car features, news, and videos that car folks love. To check it out, head on over to motorlife.com and don't forget to subscribe to our Motor Life newsletter so you won't miss any of this great car-centric content.
Jams being brought to you by the band The CEO. This is Redemption, coming out June 25th. So they've been working on this album for a year, and it's ready to be debuted. Again, the guitarist for Seven Dust is in the band as well, and a lot of the crew is actually here hanging out with us. So appreciate the band CEO for donating some solid music to get you hyped, get you pumped for Formula Drift.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's been awesome as we now move our way, Jared, back to where we left off before the break. And it looks like after Jones and Kearney kind of got into it in their battle, we are now going to be taking a look first at Adam LZ and Odi Bakshis.
So Odi Bakshis, Adam LZ, and Ryan, you talked about this earlier, similar scenarios about Texas, LZ, and Jones, but here we go, right back, jumping into it. Odi Bakshis and Adam LZ, two S15s, two very different builds. Oh boy, look at that nastiness. We got door-to-door, wheel-to-wheel, and LZ just absolutely slamming into the side of Odi Bakshis. Let's take a look at this. So let's see who's at fault here. I want to take a look at the instant replay. Saw a bit of an exchange there of Adam going up to the door of him. I don't know if it was a sorry or what the heck, or didn't see the...
Now, I think this is LZ getting maybe a little bit overzealous here, and we know how challenging getting the timing right on initiation is. This is all a momentum zone here, right? The contact is made 25 feet, 20 feet before, so Odi is allowed to basically slow down there in order to get ready and be back on throttle by inside clip number 1. I love the aggression here from Adam LZ, but you can see he's moving at a much quicker rate after initiation than Odi Bakshis, and Odi really just had to buckle up and take that one. It's well before the first inside clip, so this shouldn't be too controversial here. The judge has been basically talking about this all event long. But let's get Ryan on while we've got a little bit of clear time. Judge Ryan Lantain, if we could get you on real quick and turn your mic on. This one seems like a pretty clear-cut situation, but why don't you tell us how you guys thought about it, and also what you think happened there with Adam and Odi.
You hit the nail on the head, Ryan. LZ just came in too fast. He wasn't really judging what Odi was doing in the lead position. You can see that he just came in way too fast. He didn't slow down enough and made, at least it was, the cars were parallel when they hit, you know, it wasn't a nose into a door or something. But clearly there's some damage on both cars, so they're going to have to look at that. And yeah, it's going to be fault on Adam LZ.
All right, so the play here is going to be fault on Adam LZ. That means Odi will be able to fix his vehicle without having to call a competition timeout. He will also be front-loaded with 10 minutes to do that. And depending on the damage for LZ, he either has to call a competition timeout, or he may bow out of competition. There's a number of different options available there. Nonetheless, the way it will go down in the scorebook is Adam LZ incomplete and Odi Bakshis with an advantage.
Wait, did you just say that? Did LZ? No, he hasn't used his competition timeout.
No, I said he would need to use one.
Got it. Okay. I thought you said he'd bow out or... Okay, got it. Copy. All right, so again, we are looking at LZ and Odi. LZ back in the pits. So if he's working on his car... All right, let's go back to St. Louis last year as Frederick Osbo, he started the season out, brand new car, didn't know how he was going to do. Ryan, I think he maybe even surprised himself.
Don't litter. So as a lot of it looks like some trash from the stand. So hopefully we can pick that up or just blow right off. Here we go. Back to the action. The second run of this battle. Matt Field will now lead. Oh, what's going on here?
Had probably my strongest lead run of the day in top 16 against Matt, and he was really close. Could feel him tapping me around the last corner, and taking off and launching in the second run, chasing Matt. He immediately turned into me after after the start chicane. So a total deliberate move. I don't know where the bad blood is coming from. Maybe here a couple years ago where he thought that I parked it on him. It's just really sad to see him, you know, resort to that. Let's duke it out on track and not in the run-up like that. So it is what it is. We lose out in top 16. Still a great day. First outing for the new car. You got to be happy about that. And let's try and keep it clean and duke it out on track from here on.
You can't impede on the lead driver's transition.
Yeah, the lead driver does have the right of way to initiate however they want. The chase driver needs to allow them to do that. So we've seen a different style of initiation for almost, you know, every driver that we have in the field. Some people do a big feint. Some people kind of sweep to the left and then to the right. Some people do, you know, straight entry with e-brake. So there's various different ways that you can enter.
Matt initiates and Osbo side by side. Didn't give him room to flick. We should get that run.
I want to take what is that driver doing intentionally out of the equation and just ask whether or not he or she is following the rules. Because do I think Matt Field did that intentionally? I think he chose to do that initiation, but he'd also been doing it throughout the event. Was it a little bit more aggressive than usual? Yeah, maybe. But again, it's his right to do it. So I don't think Matt Field meant any malice by it. It could have been avoided had Frederick stayed back another 6 inches, but that's the game that we play, right? And we're never going to be able to get into the mind of another driver and say he intended to do X, Y, and Z. So I just kind of stay out of that.
I feel that in the heat of the moment, he probably felt like it was deliberate. You're battling with somebody, you want to be as close as you can. You're going to take as much as you can in the chase position. You want to get really close to not give them an inch. But if I looked at the way Ryan Turek followed Field in that battle or in that competition that day, Turek had Field figured out. The way that he had his car positioned, the way that he got really close to Field on initiation, that's more how you need to drive against Field as opposed to what Osbo did. And I know Osbo doesn't want me to say it, and I'm sure Papadakis doesn't either, but I really believe that he was just in the wrong place.
So yeah, 4th place in St. Louis. It was awesome, but it didn't come without controversy, for sure. I think the situation that happened with Frederick, it sucked because the fans didn't get to watch the run. That's a bummer. But from my point of view, he was crowding me from doing the initiation that I had been doing all weekend. So when the judges gave it to us because he was crowding us, and there's been the rule for a couple years now, I was happy because we've all been there where you're like, the judges could go either way, right? Are they like, who knows? We're in somebody else's hands. So I'm really happy that they stood by the rule book and gave it to me because I knew I was in the right and I knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to come over to set himself up for a proper chase run. That's what he had to do. Unfortunately, they didn't have notes that said that's what I was going to do, so it happened. I mean, it's a bummer, but you look at everyone after that, they figured it out, and Turek had it figured out really well and ended up beating me and had one hell of a chase run. So it's just the rules, you know, it sucks. But I will say that from the driver's seat, I saw how close he was, and I was like, I don't know.
We are back here, and we are seeing Dean Carney and Jeff Jones on the start line. And if you can remember, we got that contact there. And we'll have to, this is the second run of this Great 8 battle. Who's moving on to the Final 4? So we saw Jeff Jones initiate, and Dean Carney, if you can recall, came in hot in that chase position. So the question is, you know, Dean was at fault. So look at the guys having some fun in the back. Yo, the Jones gang.
There's just
Jones and
there's nothing like this.
No, Jones and his team are a different breed, man, and I think it needs to be celebrated. Here we go. Dean Carney out front. Jones in that chase position. Carney initiates massive angle there. Wow, that was very sick. Solid initiation there, but Jones needs to get active. Oh, and Dean goes over, sprays the dirt to the sand people right there. And look at Jones. Ryan, you don't give a lot of drivers
nicknames, but you deemed him relentless years ago, and I think it just really summarizes who he is and his spirit.
Oh, I'm definitely going to need to see that again, and probably the first run.
Right.
I need a refresher.
Oh, nice. Let's go with the little side-by-side action. The BC Racing side-by-side instant replay. BC Racing, the official suspension of Formula Drift. Go for the gold.
All right, so Jeff Jones and Dean Carney here, keeping us entertained into the night. Jeff Jones, Dean Carney, waiting at the line. We'll pull up some replays here. We've got 2 runs in the books now. We had a bit of a circumstance on run number 1 and a bit of a circumstance on run number 2. So they are not only keeping us entertained, they're also making it very difficult for this panel of 3 judges up here. But nonetheless, a great way to kick off the 2021 season. Still the other half of LZ and Odie to go, I believe.
Yep. Odie and LZ, they had that contact with LZ coming in hot. So a lot of these chase drivers absolutely going for it. All right, side-by-side of that BC Racing, side-by-side instant replay.
All right, Jones on the left screen in the lead. Dean on the right. The lead run is on the left-hand side for Jones. That was the first lap, rather. That's where they got a little tight up there on the initiation. Jones shooting out wide in his lead run to get out to touch and go number 1, but comes up short on outside zone number 2. Goes wide on the clip as Dean in his lead run trying to pull away from Jones, coming through the touch and go and through this final snap here. And a tough battle here for the judges, and getting some news from the LZ camp here coming through. Want to wait for the official nature of it, but our task at hand is to find a winner between Jeff Jones and Dean Carney.
All right, here's a look from the drones to the second run. So this is with Dean out front, Jones in the chase position. Now remember that contact made by Dean. Did Jones do enough? And Dean, you know, I mean, that's a deduction, but it's not incomplete.
And Dean was looking really good up to that point. As you said, it's just a deduction, a mistake. His initiation, his angle, the flow that he carried through the first inside clip, all pretty solid. Pondering. I see one judge that's no longer pondering. He's like, I got it.
Scores are in. All of them are in. All right, here we go. Slide him left for Jones, right for Carney. We got it one more time from Eggert. And Lontaine says Jones, and Brian says Jeff Jones gets the win. Jeff Jones is moving on to the Final Four. He qualified 18th. Odie Bakshi's qualified 3rd. Adam LZ qualified 27th. Oh, man. Ryan? Well, Ryan, I believe Lorette just texted us, and she sent us some news about what was to be the second half of our next and last battle of the Great 8.
Uh-oh. What do you got?
But we are finding out that LZ was unable to repair his vehicle in the 5-minute allotment. So Adam LZ is out of competition. Odie Bakshis will advance into the Final Four. Odie Bakshis qualified 3rd. Jeff Jones, the lowest qualifying driver. He needs to beat Odie in order to podium.
Right.
On
That's
the other
story.
Yeah, that's the story that, like, you know, everybody likes an underdog. I don't consider Jeff Jones an underdog anymore, man. Not anymore. He took out Osbo. You know, he gave it to Carney. You know, he has all the makings there. And you got to think also, is Odie 100%? You know, Jeff was down a cylinder.
Right.
Remember that? I mean, he called it. Oh, he used his comp timeout.
Yeah.
He used his comp timeout earlier. He didn't have to use one for this.
So he's going to have this natural break that will happen here as we move back over to the left-hand side.
Well, we have Odie. He has to run the second half of his battle.
Yeah.
Just to make sure the car runs.
Yeah, we got that. So that's 2 minutes, right?
Couple minutes. We'll take a short break. There's Odie. He's navigating his way up to the start line.
And then Field and Gittin.
And
then
Jones
we'll
and Odie. The plot thickens.
Underdog, interesting. I'd love to know the history of how that. Everybody always says that.
Yeah,
is there anything? Is there such thing as an overdog, or
That's just my dog.
A regular dog?
You're just my dog. You know what I mean? Here's how it plays out. So we will see the second run of Odie Bakshi's, but it is official. We'll see Odie rip through the course in his Falcon Tires Field Suspension S15. But there is your final four. Matt Field versus Vaughn Gittin Jr. Jeff Jones going against Odie Bakshi's on the right side of the bracket.
Jones, once again, he's peeking through the door of a podium, but because of his qualifying position, as you said, he's got to beat Odie. And you made a good point. Okay, let's go to this interview.
Oh, yeah. Lorette Nickel is with Adam LZ. What's up, Adam?
All right. Well, guys, I was told Adam pushed his right front straight. The team was trying to damage the entire assembly. The look of defeat. I'm so sorry, Adam.
Sheesh. I mean, my guys, like, so close. We had maybe like 2 seconds to go. I mean, I didn't know I had to have the car running before it was out. So even if we made those seconds, the car wasn't running, so we would have lost anyway. But this was a great display. I mean, my team got a front corner changed in 5 minutes. Not the best display of driving. I kind of went a little too fast. I probably should have not done that. I don't know. If you want to win, you got to go big, right?
Absolutely. Adam, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys.
Thank you, Lorette. Obviously, she's at the top of the hill. A little glitchy, but
good attitude by him, though.
Great attitude by him. I mean, and that's just that what was the confidence thing again?
Appropriate
confidence. I'll get it. I'll get it eventually by the end of the night. Appropriate confidence.
Kind of digging it though.
What, appropriate confidence? Yeah, I like it. I think that's the word of the day. Yeah. So, all right. Let's speaking of screaming, let's hear this man scream down the hill. We're gonna lay out so you can listen to this supercharged V8 under the hood of the Falcon Tire Field Suspension Silvia S15 of Edimus Odie Bakshi's. And there it is, Odie Bakshi's with that run. It advances into the final four, baby. Matt Field, Vaughn Gittin Jr., that's going to be a blast. Jeff Jones and Odie Bakshi's. And we do not have a third place consolation battle, right? I mean, because in 2020 we did have one because of qualifying. But now with qualifying, we do not have a third place battle. Third place is dictated by the higher qualifying driver. So again, Field, Field qualified first, Vaughn Gittin Jr. qualified fourth, Jeff Jones 18th, and Odie qualifying third. So here it is, our United States Air Force trivia. And what is the A10 affectionately known as? Sunshine, Bear, Stallion, or Warthog? So what is the A10 affectionately known as? Sunshine, Bear, Stallion, or Warthog? You'll see in the drop-down screen in the description of the YouTube Formula Drift live stream, and you'll see the link. Click the Aim High Trivia, and click the link and see if you got it right. So there you have it. Again, check it out. The Aim High Air Force Trivia. And here we are once again. We are going into our Final Four, the Type S Final Four. Type S Touring Products, the official lighting of Formula Drift. And speaking of Type S Pro Series LED kits now available at types.com. Use code FDATL10 for 10% off site-wide. So these Pro Series LED available at typesauto.com. Save 10%. You can see the underglow there under Von Gittin Jr., Chelsea DeNofa, and all of the FD vehicles. So we got night events. Light up the street with Type S. Type S, the official lighting of Formula Drift. I think it's rad. Yeah, I think it looks good. Fully customizable. Change the color, strobe, not strobe, like streaking. They have many different settings. Really cool. And I think Vaughn and Chelsea did a really good job with that video too.
Everybody's streaking. Everybody's doing it.
When we come back, our Final Four is upon us. The top four, Type S, is here. The Royal Purple Road to the Championship presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Road to the Championship, man, we're barely just scratching the surface, baby. When we come back, Final Four is here. Gittin, Field, Jones, Bakshi's when we come back.
I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro driver, and today we're going to talk about Royal Purple HPS and what actually goes into it. There's a lot of talk about additives, and Royal Purple has its proprietary Centerlick technology. It is fortified with a high level of zinc phosphorus anti-wear additive for exceptional protection against heat and wear. Its high film strength improves sealing between the piston ring and cylinder wall for maximum horsepower and torque. Royal Purple HPS, race car technology for the street.
Came up a lot of sounds, more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about.
Oh yeah, here we go. We are back, the Final Four. Let's get hyped. The man, look at that. The stands are still packed. See y'all looking at your phone. Hopefully you're looking at videos and tagging at Formula D, hashtag FDATL. Let everybody know you are out here crushing a good time. Look at that. You got flip-flops, tank tops, you got sweatshirts. The vibe out here is either, you know what, just wear what's appropriate, right? Got those. Hey, why are you packing up your chairs, man? Put those chairs back down. You need to sit down, bro. Yeah, put those chairs back down. You ain't going nowhere. You ain't got nowhere to be. Your mom just called, said you don't have to come home, bro. It's all good. It's all good. Here we go. Our first battle of the Final Four is here. Matt Field, Von Gittin Jr., the beast from the Bay, versus Captain Clutch Kick, Von Gittin Jr. Woo-wee! The defending and two-time Formula Drift champion. Shout out to my boy at Heatwave. What's up, Justin? Thanks for tuning in, bro, if you haven't seen him. Oh, yeah. So, I know they're feeling the heat wave. I know Justin is up in the Bay Area. The Bay Area boys got the shades on. Ready to get tuned up. Matt feeling the flow, feeling the vibe, but he's going against that man, Von Gittin Jr., two-time and defending Formula Drift champion. But again, just the attitude of the confidence, the justified confidence as Field and Gittin are warming up their respective tires.
That's a cool one too.
Yeah, justified confidence. Yeah, we have too
They have
much
like
fun.
a sick album title.
Justified confidence.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, like if you're claiming hard a little bit.
Yeah, just like justified
I'm dope, but
confidence.
I'm justified.
Yeah, like humble confidence. I'm the most humble guy I know. Yeah, dude, that's what's up. All right, here we go. All joking aside, it's always great to be back here, wrapping out alongside Ryan Sage and Laurent Nickel, our judges, our whole crew. It's great to see the family. The band's back together, baby. And the front and center, the singers, the musicians, the bands, Vaughn Gittin Jr. and Matt Field right now are center stage. Matt Field will lead. He's your #1 qualifier. Vaughn Gittin Jr. qualifying 4th. Still in the 90s, but just not enough. And that could come into play here to, you know what? Actually, no, I was going to say one of these guys are guaranteed 3rd place, but that's not the case because Odie did qualify in between them. So it's a must-win for Vaughn Gittin Jr. in order, no, not the case even there either. Here we go, Matt Field and Vaughn Gittin Jr. The scenarios play out as the tires burn on. Matt Field initiates into that front clip. Right there, look at him. Matt Field just wraps it around that front clip. Now going to that first outside zone, some wavering by both the drivers in that second outside zone. Right there, riding the line is, woo, oh, doctor, look at this. Both these guys showing up, toe-to-toe, mano-a-mano, body parts being shredded off, shredded to send it to end it. Matt Field and Vaughn Gittin Jr. putting on an air show. Wow.
Loving that. Great way to kick off the Final Four. Matt Field, #1 qualifier. Vaughn Gittin Jr., #4. And the current champion, Matt Field trying to dethrone Vaughn Gittin Jr. Super close action coming up the hill with Matt Field shooting into outside zone #2, right at the edge of the track. But Vaughn following him perfectly through outside zone 2 into the inside clip. Oh, little bit of a washout there by Vaughn, but he corrects very quickly, gets back on it. A great shot from above to see that little correction that Vaughn made. Here it is coming out of the keyhole one more time, or going into the keyhole rather. Matt Field super deep on that outside zone. Look at Vaughn with the pressure, unbelievable. And then right there, just a slight little adjustment. You can see the front wheels moving. This is a dangerous area, that smoke line. Very important to stay out of it. Vaughn navigates through it pretty well. And now we will switch things up.
Wow.
The 2-time champion, Vaughn Gittin Jr. at the lead.
Yep.
Trying to make history in 2021. Wants to get that 3rd. Wants to tie James Dean. Wants to tie Chris Forsberg. Matt Field, #1 qualification. Wants a championship of his own. They meet in the Final Four. They give us an awesome first half. And here's the second.
Awesome driving by both these gentlemen. Who's going to come out on top? Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets the clean air behind the wheel of his Ford Mustang. And Matt Field hunting him down. Vaughn Gittin Jr. initiates. Big angle from Vaughn Gittin Jr. Look at that. He's got that back right tire, Ryan, you're pointing out. Did it go flat? I don't know. That thing looks like he's on rim potentially. But if he finished, he might have debeated. But if he finished, oh boy, and there it goes.
It debeated on initiation, and it's fine in terms of can he finish finishing the run, because it's the second half of the battle.
Yes.
But obviously it doesn't look like he was able, well, and Matt got really close there too. It can't ever be easy.
No, but I do believe that with that, when he transitioned, because what was that?
It's the right rear.
Right rear. So when he came down, okay, here we go.
Watch it right here. It goes off right there. As he's hitting the e-brake, it pops off the rim. So, I mean, sometimes they can kind of pop back on and you can still maintain some grip, but let's see, it's off completely there. So he's got basically metal to asphalt, and you have to think that that is playing a role in the ability to put down power in the appropriate way. The judges will have to make an interpretation and a call on this section of the course. Now remember, the decel zone is passed. Right there, they should be accelerating through that inside clip. There it is in slow motion. You can see.
There it is. Yeah, locking it up. Bye.
Yeah. I go bye-bye.
Yeah. Tire went to heaven. So as they transition here, you got to think that trying to put that power down.
Kind of pop back on for a second.
Yeah.
And then it's like, nah, I got to get going.
Nah. All right, I'm going to head out. So now you can see him just staying on it. E-brake. Matt's taking a tighter line. You got to think that moving forward, oh boy. Okay. The plot thickens.
You don't want to have it easy.
Nope. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm overhearing the judges talking, and I think Ryan's microphone might even be open.
Yeah. I think that has to factor into the overall interpretation. I hear Ryan putting his mic on. Let's open him up. Tell us what you guys been talking about, Ryan.
Yeah, right away we saw that Vaughn's tire debeated on initiation, and the amount of grip these tires produce, if you're down one tire, you're clearly going to be having trouble maintaining the amount of speed and pace throughout the course that you'd expect a lead car to do. And then as they came up here towards inside clip number 2, you could see that Vaughn over-rotated, clearly caused by the lack of one of the tires on the car. As you were saying, metal on asphalt. So Matt Field, I think, made a very light contact with him. I didn't deem it to be Matt Field's fault at all. And I put it on Von Gittin. It's clearly not Von Gittin's fault, but he had a tire debead, so that's what's at fault for this.
That's going to change the complete attitude of the vehicle. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so here's what they said, and Matt Field gets the win. He's going to the finals. Matt Field is guaranteed at minimum second place here in Atlanta. One son, the #1 qualifier. Can he make it a perfect event? That is the big thing, right? Man, perfect event for Matt Field. Great way to start it. And there we can see Chelsea Denofa, Lorette Nickel up there in the pits. And the RTR camp looking on, so Field.
So where does that put us?
That puts us basically, the other side is Jones and Odie. If Jones loses, Von Gittin Jr. gets 3rd.
Right.
If Odie wins, Von Gittin Jr. gets, no, sorry. Yeah. If Jones wins, Odie gets 3rd. I apologize.
Correct.
Thank you.
If Odie wins, Vaughn gets 3rd.
Thank you.
That's how we're doing it.
All right. Well, some people have lost some money here today. Their bets went south, but regardless, you know who's gonna win right now? No, I have no idea. Us. We're all gonna win. That's a great way of putting it. Jones and Odie. Bakshish. Oh man, this should be fun. You know, you gotta think that we were talking about just the confidence, but I think just the zaniness and the fun having that Jones is having and his team. I think that's really just keeping him cool, calm, and collect.
Yeah, totally. Like keeping it loose, fun, happy, smiling. There's something
dancing.
To be said about that.
Yeah.
There's a fine balance of the seriousness of competition and being able to have fun. I mean, drifting is fun by its very nature.
Fact.
And that's what makes it such a beautiful sport. It's cool that it's also a competition because you have both of those elements. And now we're putting ourselves in a position where one of these two guys is going to be going to the finals. Is it going to be Odie Bakshish or is it going to be Jeff Jones?
Here we go. Odie Bakshish out front. Jeff Jones in that chase position. The first portion of this battle. Matt Field waits in the wings as Von Gittin Jr. does as well. Will he get 3rd place or will he get 4th? Odie Bakshish coming down the hill in that Falcon Tires Field Suspension S15. Here comes Jones in tow. Odie brings it around that first front clip. Well executed by both the drivers. Couple car length distance in between the two drivers. First outside zone, now the second outside zone. Jones taking a tighter line. Ooh, look at that, wheel to wheel. Good transition. Now coming out of the keyhole. Jeff Jones make a small correction, straightens out, now back up the hill. Odie and Jones, no major mistakes from either driver. I think Odie had a really good lead run. Jeff had some corrections in the back in that chase position. Now, if I'm Jones, I got to run the run of my life. I know Odie is going to chase me down.
Yeah, that is something that we expect from Odie Bakshish to be an aggressive chase driver. But here he is in the lead, laying down a solid, clean lead run, fulfilling that first outside zone, getting pretty much to the edge of the second outer zone. But Jones, no slack here, surging in moments, pushing the pace on Odie. yet, like you said, a couple little mistakes, a couple areas we had a little bit less angle, but he still kept and stayed in the fight. So now he's got to switch up the mentality, go from the chase mentality to the lead run. I've got the clean air. Let me put down the run of my life. And Odi Bakshis, we know what he can do in the chase position.
Jeff is buzzing right now. He's absolutely frothing. He is just, he wants this on so many levels. I know I saw his wife, she's here, and she says, I can work remotely. I'm trying to, just be here, be present, and Jones is going for it. But I know, Amy, Odie's wife, she's here in the building. She's loving it. She's back. And it's great, man. This is just all one big happy family. But one of these gentlemen is going to the finals, guaranteed a podium spot. Here we go. Send it. Jeff Jones coming down the pipe. Odi Bakshis right there. That's what I was talking about, and that's to be expected. Jones and that 818 Edelbrock. Z coming into that second outer zone. Just barely dips that back left wheel into that second outside zone, transitioning out of the keyhole and through that touch and go. Oh, great transition by both the drivers. Jeff was a little off that touch and go, Ryan. Awesome driving by both the drivers.
Well, a great battle here in the Final Four. Well done by both drivers, as you said, but let's take a little bit more of a granular look here. Jones, nice early initiation on the throttle through that inside clip. Odi, always a beast in the chase, keeping it close, going uphill. One of the hardest parts of the course to time to get to outside zone number 2. But Odi moving quickly here to make sure that he's following Jones like a moving clipping point, trying to mirror him the best that he can and look for areas where he can dive in the pocket there, keep the pressure on. Jones out front, following most of the criteria of the lead driver and giving us a great battle to consider here at Road Atlanta in the Final Four.
Oh, man. Let's see what we got. Again, Matt Field waits in the wings, so if Odi wins, Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets third. If Jeff Jones wins, Odi gets third. What do you guys think? Is it Odi Bakshis? Or is it Jeff Jones? Or is it one more time? Y'all getting loud. I can't hear you. Where are my Odi fans at? Where are my Jeff Jones fans at? Where are my one more time fans at? Slide him left for Jones, right for Odi Bakshis. Odi gets the win and is advancing on. So the finals are set. The finals are set. Matt Field, Odi Bakshis are in the finals. That means Vaughn Gittin Jr., that man's wearing the right shirt. If he was pulling for Vaughn, Vaughn Gittin Jr. gets third place here in Atlanta.
This is Team Falcon striking back.
Ooh, yeah, that's right. 1-2. Falcon 1-2.
Shot over the bow.
Yeah, shot over the bow. So there it is. What an epic day. Look at these battles, and it ends up the teal and blue on top. Oh, look at this, the frenemies. The frenemies are at the top.
Oh,
Field and Odi, right?
I mean, they've been connections
They've
there.
been doing this series for a while. They've been having fun. They've been making a lot of content together, and here they are. And I think it's going to be no holds barred. These guys are going to have an absolute blast. They've been, testing, ripping, and shredding together, and ripping and tearing. Man, it's going to go down.
Yeah, no kidding. It's going to be a great battle. These two guys, well-deserved. Field has been on a tear all weekend. You tend to see these kind of things happen more often than not. A guy that qualifies number 1 at least makes it to the finals, and if not, wins the event. That's something that Matt Field has yet to do, but he is on the cusp of doing it. On the other side of the bracket, you have a guy that has come out as a championship contender for the past few years. He's always in the hunt. Didn't have the finish that he wanted last year towards the end of the year, but everything was so crazy last year. Now he's reset. He's got an incredible car, and this should be a battle that we will all remember for a long time.
Yep. And it's just that number 1 qualifier, having that perfect event. Not many drivers can actually execute that, and that's just, again, I really attribute that to just how calm he is. So speaking of the calmness, how's Matt Field faring down there, Lorette?
Well, I just asked him, Matt Field, what's changed? And he said secrets. He's not going to give away any of his secrets, but Matt Field.
It's all a mind game, that's it.
That is absolutely, it's a mind game.
So long, and I'm trying to figure out my mind game. I'm not going to say I figured it out quite yet. It's a long road, but definitely making improvements, and I'm happy to be here. And that's rare. It's hard. It's hard for us to be happy or excited about being here because we're all so cutthroat. So that's where I'm at.
What else can you pinpoint that's working so well for you tonight?
Honestly, shameless plug, the tires. Like, these Falcons are incredible. 295, aired down, temperatures cool off. I'm driving a car that surprises me how much grip it has. When it was sunny out, I was kind of searching a little bit, and as soon as it cooled off, the car just started hooking up. I'm doing wheelies up the hill, so I'm pumped.
And let's talk about that. So now with the sun down, the track cooling down, what adjustments did you have to make?
Well, normally you loosen up the car when the sun goes down. We gripped it up, and I just said, drive better. That was it.
As simple as that. He makes it sound so simple, you guys.
I'm trying my hardest.
And you're going against your Falcon Tire teammate.
Yes.
Do you know what to expect with him?
That's the thing. We drive together so much that there is no games. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. It's 100% from the second we leave the gate. That's how we practice, 200 laps on a normal test day between him and I. So it's going to be real, that's for sure.
And that must inspire a lot of confidence.
Oh, absolutely. I know how he drives. He knows how I drive. For instance, following Vaughn into that keyhole, I knew that there was going to be a slow up at Interclip 2, and there was. So knowing that that doesn't exist with Odie means I can just be on his door, and I'm sure he feels the same.
Okay, I know you have to get ready, Matt Field. Thank you so much for your time. Jared?
Thank you so much, Lorette. And I'm just coordinating with Larry Chen right now. He says, hey, ATL, you guys want to do that light thing again. So we're going to light up the night here when the cars are on the track. So don't pull out your phones and your lights just yet. When Odie and Field are on the track and they're running down, I need you to light up the track because Larry Chen is down on the ground. He's going to grab that. He's going to grab that as the Stormtroopers look on. These are not the droids you're looking for. Thank you for joining us out here as May the 4th be with you. Revenge of the 5th, and now Mother's Day tomorrow. Happy Mother's Day to all you out there. One more battle to rule them all, and that is Matt Field and Odie Bakshi's when we come back to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta live from Brazelton, Georgia. Royal Purple, Road to the Championship, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Link ECU produces standalone engine management technology with a range of products that allow you to unleash the power of your engine. Acting as your car's brain, Link ECUs control electronic fuel injection and ignition. A magnitude of sensor inputs and outputs ensure your engine exceeds your expectations. Built-in safety features guarantee engine protection, and data logs keep you informed on its performance. Smoke your tires, not your engine, with a world-leading Link ECU.
The Falcon Azenis RT660 is the enthusiast's choice for ultra-high performance. Engineered for predictable handling and stability, the RT660 provides maximum traction both on and off the track. Your competitive edge has arrived with the Falcon Azenis RT660.
I'm Matt Field, driver of the Falcon Tire Drift Cave Corvette. If my life was a TV show, I would guess I would name it Field Day. My favorite thing on my car has to be the suspension. People like Part Shop Max and myself have dedicated ourselves to producing suspension that can turn a Corvette into a drift car. If I had had a drift co-pilot, it would definitely be my dad, because the relationship that we have together when we do the off-road stuff is awesome. But there's no one else I'd rather have by my side, my dad for sure. My favorite drifter besides myself has always been Chris Forsberg, because when I was 19 years old, that guy was like, I'm the best ever. He already had the rig, the good partners, maybe a championship or two under his belt, and I just looked at him and I'm like, what's up? It's just like another motorsport. I love watching Formula One and I love off-road racing, so it's motorsport, but anything outside of motorsport, like ball and stick sports, I couldn't care less about. Death Row, Last Meal, Tacos El Gordo, that street taco place in Vegas, the Autobata. Ha! It's too good, dude. To be honest, I hate pickup lines, but what I do, this is true, I look for something that I can be slightly rude about. Like if you say something, but it can't be like one to suit them all, right? Like the chick has to be sloppy and spill her drink on somebody and you gotta say something slightly rude, just obnoxious enough to get her attention, but don't be a dick about it.
I'm going to sell to you in 12 minutes. I will tell her what her needs are and then fill them.
If I was to spend a day with a fan, I would probably bring him to the shop, let him look around. People seem to like what we have going on there, and it's something that I'm very proud of. And then I would probably take him up the mountain for some nighttime action.
All right, as we want to invite all our fans in the future to join us at the Team Falcon autograph session at our future events. Odi Bakshis, Justin Pollock, Dai Oshihara, and Matt Field. Two of those drivers are about to do battle. So join us at future rounds of Formula Drift competition. And again, thank you to Falcon for their continued support. Plan on seeing everybody in Orlando. Again, join us in just a couple weeks. Scorched, as it's deemed. Looking forward to that. That's going to be a hot and sweaty one. And there he is, warming up his tires. Matt Field, Falcon tires, Rift Cave, the head caveman. Sure, Mr. and Mrs. Field are watching, cheering him on. His sister. I wonder if he's got a deal with Fresh and Lean. He seems to be talking about those prepared meals. With that, I like that. And I know he switched it up to Forge Stars this year. And let's take a look at these cars. Odi Bakshis, Matt Field. Field claiming 700 horsepower. I think it's got to be a little more than that. And Odi with the long hair, the shaggy hair. He's been thrashing, dude.
I think Matt is more like at the 1K realm.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like 1,000. And remember, like, the horsepower wars, Odi was just like, 1,000 horsepower, like, the HP, LOL, like, kind of was making fun of the horsepower wars. And now look where you're at. You can't beat them, join them.
But it's also a point of diminishing returns because of the tire width limitation.
For sure.
We've seen people go in too far of an extreme on the horsepower and basically never be able to use that, and almost it hurts them in competition.
Yep.
So finding that happy medium, what chassis, how much weight, and then the tire width that applies to that. So.
Yep.
And I think a lot of it now, and especially with people like Odi, it's about suspension dynamics and getting that right for each of the tracks that you go to, being able to get the grip down at the right part of the track at the right time in both the lead and the chase setup.
Yeah.
The lead setup is kind of like a qualifying setup, right?
Yep.
Not always, because I know a lot of guys run it a little bit looser in qualifying so they can get a little bit more crazy. But you still want to have enough grip to chase. And if you're the lead driver out and you smoke the tires, you don't have a lot on the chase, you've got to find a balance to be able to manage that appropriately.
All the teal and blue shirts supporting their respective teams. Matt Field will lead our #1 qualifier. The finals are here. Everybody turn on your phone lights. Let's light this place up. Turn on your phone lights.
Hey-o.
Let's light it up. Larry Chen gonna snap the pics. Larry, you ready, buddy? Little baby send. Let's send it! Atlanta, line up the night. The finals are here. It's a Falcon 1-2. In which order are they going to land? Matt Field, the beast from the Bay, initiates. Throwing into that front clip. Odie Bakshi's right there on the back. Oh! Odie Bakshi's lunges forward, gets in to the side of Matt Field. You see him go on the opposite side. The accident happens. And the carbon Kevlar body kit lands right in front. Oh, man, we got side skirts, front bumpers. We got it all. That was interesting. How did he go on that side? Odie says, look, I need damage on this side, too. Let's just go and throw it on that side.
Well, we know these guys come out aggressive, and this is a course where you're going really fast then slow, then really fast again, then slow, then really fast again. And these kind of things can happen in areas like that. Now, remember, that's a decel zone, that's a decel zone, that's not a decel zone. That's not a decel zone, that's not a decel zone. The decel zone starts there, and then it goes up to the start of outside zone number 2. So just for the record, that's how the track is laid out. They even touched, they kissed. I think Odie transitioned a little quickly there.
Yeah. Well, it was like it was a shallow transition. So looks like they did kiss there, and then, yeah. I think he just gripped up and it shot him to the right side as opposed to kind of getting loose and dropping in a formation.
So interesting. Let's take a look back at Odie. He has not used a competition timeout. Field has not used a competition timeout, so they both have one. We will need to get fault because this is now deemed as a collision because the run stopped.
Yep.
So fault has to happen here. We typically will also do fault if there's just contact, which means the run doesn't necessarily stop, just in case there is a damaged part that we don't see and it becomes a safety issue. But in this case, where it is completely stopped, it goes into the collision category. We need to deem fault, and then it would be an incomplete for one of the drivers. That's the big thing that happens in a collision, is that the run stops, and that means that somebody caused that accident, that collision, and will be deemed with an incomplete. Here's another look at the momentum zone. You can see clearly the touch and go area where this happened is not a momentum zone. So that means drivers need to be maintaining speed through there. Now, I think you're right, Jared. I think your read on it initially is there was a bit of a shallow transition from Odie, and he kind of gripped up and came forward. But have the judges made a call?
Yeah, the judges made a call. Who's at fault? Say it again. Fault on Odie. Was that unanimous? Fault is on Odie. All right, yeah, so fault is on Odie. So that means Matt Field can put hands on the car and inspect the vehicle. So the fault is on Odie, so Field can put the hands on the car. If Odie wants to get hands on his vehicle, he would have to take it and utilize his competition timeout.
Yeah, that is correct. And we are in a pretty clear situation here where there's a clear advantage for Matt Field with Odie Bakshi's getting fault for the collision and being awarded an incomplete. So that means that Matt Field would need to also incomplete on his chase run in order for there to be the possibility of a one more time. However, 2 incompletes on a chase run mean we could revert to the lead as a comparison, but let's take a look at it again here.
So they do kiss on initiation right here.
Yeah, they kiss here. Field is on throttle well before the inside clip, and then Odie's going to quickly transition a bit early there, and that's where you see the contact. Can we roll that back just real quick one more time? I want to just take a look at one little item, just for my own edification, if you will.
Well, all the lights were on, but they lit up and the boys got lit.
The hype of the finals.
Yep, the hype of the finals, and Matt talked about it. Lorette didn't have words with Odie, but he says, we've driven together. There's no foul play. We know what to expect, and inspecting the corners. There we are overlooking. Is that Odie's vehicle? Man, they are working in the dark over there. Absolute pitch black. Fortunately, they got that Type S lighting, right? So one half of the battle is completed. Odie at fault. That means he's at a deficit. Matt Field is one half of a battle left, and he is going to win here in Atlanta, which I don't think he has won before here.
I think Odie?
No, I'm saying Field, because Odie's at fault. Field has never won here before.
Right.
I believe Odie has.
Yeah, he has one here.
Yes.
I remember Ron Bergenholtz cried that night. He's
Yep.
strong.
Yep. Field is focusing on his right rear, possible bent arm. So that could play a major role here. He does have 10 minutes because of the contact and the collision, as you called it, as opposed to a competition timeout. Because he wasn't at fault, it's a 10-minute allotment. Competition timeouts are just 5-minute allotment.
And this is digging deep into the rule book, but this is something that we've had in here in the rule book for a couple of years for situations like this, is that, and I want to go back and do a quick refresher on it, but I do not believe that you can win the finals, that we will wait.
Under default.
That we will wait and give additional time so that we can see the conclusion of the finals, unless the driver at fault has to bow out of competition.
Right. So we can see the Drift Force boys down there helping as well. Yeah, so you can see that is the hot pit area that's at the top of the hill. So they take any necessary tools and parts. They have what's called parts boards, where they have corners of the vehicle. A lot of the teams have utilized this for numerous years, but parts boards. So that right corner, the left front, right front, whatever you got. So as can see Lorette Nickel down there. Hopefully we can get some words with Matt Field. And Lorette, go ahead. Down to you, girl.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Hopefully you can hear me. There's a lot of cars and a lot of things in the way, but Matt Field sitting in the car, and there's been some damage to the right side. So tell us what the team is working on fixing.
Right, so, got it? Right now, it's actually this piece called a toe control plate, and it's basically a sacrifice piece that Part Shop Max builds into their knuckle so that we don't destroy a very expensive billet knuckle. So fortunately, just that plate took the hit. We pull it off, bolt a new one on, check the alignment, and send the car on its way. So this is the first time with this new piece that we've tested, and I guess it's working. I can't see. I'm dying to see, but the boys got me. I trust them.
All right, Matt, thank you so much.
Nice, very good brief interview. Thank you, Lorette, for some insight there. And then shout out to Part Shop Max, right? And that's kind of keeping the damage at bay and minimizing the costly parts, because like you said, that big billet piece. And look at that, boom, like an absolute F1 NASCAR team. So, what's that?
Yeah, you want to get appropriate confidence. You want to get intelligent parts.
Let's go. Yeah, that's right. Appropriate confidence, baby. When we come back, we will see Matt Field and Odie Bakshi's finish out the finals here at Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, the Royal Purple Road to the Championship, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
My name came up a lot of sounds, more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about.
When you have a lot of money tied up in your transmission and differential in your car, kind of like I do in this one, this is a must-have. Royal Purple Max Gear High Performance Gear Oil. Even under severe squeeze film conditions caused by sudden shock, extreme high loads, or low RPMs, Max Gear helps reduce bearing wear. I am pretty sure we put this to the test more than anybody else. Slippery, synthetic, and complete with Centerlick technology, Max Gear reduces wear and friction, which allows your gears to run smoother, quieter, cooler, and longer. Drift tested and ready for your gears. Royal Purple Max Gear.
Round 2, Orlando Speed World. There's still a lot of season left. It's hot, it's humid, and the fans come out in droves. Either drivers are trying to stack more points or trying to get back on track.
Let me take a step back. Let me take a step back.
Round 2 scorched in just a couple weeks. We'll be out there as the clock is ticking. I'm seeing 1 minute, 20 seconds left, and there's the season schedule. We'll see you next in just a couple weeks, May 21st, 22nd, Englishtown, E-Town, June 18th, 19th, Erie, Pennsylvania, brand new track, Monroe, Washington, Evergreen Speedway, St. Louis, Missouri, just across the bridge there at Worldwide Technology Raceway, Long Beach, the streets of Long Beach, usually in April. Now, because of the Grand Prix sliding over, we're sliding in September 17th and 18th, the week before the Long Beach Grand Prix, and then Irwindale, California, October 22nd, 23rd. That's where a 2021 Formula Drift champion will be crowned. So the clock is ticking. The car is not moving. Maybe just aligning it. I think they're just checking the alignment, and I think that's smart. Take the time. You have the 44 seconds, and it should be good to go. Seeing what's going on here. All right. Hey, Lorette, throwing it down to you. Do they have more time outside of this? I guess they could take 5 more minutes, huh?
He could call his competition timeout, which would give him 5 more minutes. The clock is running down. You can see 24 seconds left. It looks like the guys were measuring the toe. Right now they're working on the front right tire. Matt told me he got hit hardest in the back, so it might be all set, but Kevin Wells holding the clock right now. 7 seconds, and my assumption is that they're going to call the 5 minutes.
All right, yeah, it looks like that clock has expired, so boom, the 5-minute clock
there it is.
Does begin. So 5-minute allotment on top of that 10-minute because, again, the collision, 10 minutes was allotted, and now he's utilizing the competition timeout, the whole team. You can see them working on it. Ryan, what do you got?
Well, I was wanting to reference that section in the rule book that talks about this specific thing. It's in 5.1.3. It says, in the case where you have a situation in the final battle where a driver has excessive damage to his vehicle, and we want to finish the event so that way the lead driver can't take advantage of this rule. Hey, I know I'm not at fault, and not fix their car.
Yeah.
That we reserve the right to give them more time to fix the vehicle. If the car is completely smashed up and totally trashed, then they would call it, and then Matt would get the win in that situation. But the way that the rule is written here is it says if the case above occurs in the final battle, Formula Drift reserves the right to make adjustments to the rule above in order to complete the competition. Example, allow additional time beyond the 10 minutes for repairs.
Got it.
So we kind of have that in there. I know Kevin knows that. I believe that they're not super rushing, so I think that they're confident they're going to be able to get it back out there. And obviously, Field doesn't want to win it by sitting on the sidelines.
No, most definitely not. And this isn't something that Odie wanted to happen either. I know we're focusing on Matt Field, but I believe that we haven't checked in on Odie. I don't know if he called the comp timeout either or as well, excuse me. But I know that the teal and blue teams are working, so the clock is ticking for Matt Field. But you brought up a great point. They're not thrashing. You can see the alignment tools there on the wheels, making sure everything is up to snuff. And looks like just rolling it, check it one more time. Fire her up, let her rip, Tater Chip. That's right. All right, there it is. Matt Field is rolling. Make some noise, Atlanta. Don't stop believing. That's right, Brooks. Don't stop believing. That is right, Brooks Church in the building. Thank you, sir. He is a fun haver for sure. Just a small town boy, you know what I mean? Living in a lonely world. All right, Matt Field, you can see Von Gittin Jr., he knows he's got third place, but who's going to get the win? So with that contact of Odie and Field, Odie sits with the deficit. Field with some confidence, feeling the flow. It's all mind games, as he says.
Yeah, the tricky part here is we know Odie's going to get out of the gate fast. So Field doesn't really have the ability to kind of sit back and sandbag this one because he could be inactive chase.
Yeah.
Interesting thing is how much damage was sustained that may have an effect on the run for either drivers. That's always a hard thing to kind of tell from our perspective.
Something you can't see.
Yeah.
I mean, he talked about that, you know, the development of that suspension bit by Part Shop Max to not sustain damage, mitigate damage, and make sure that you're not, you know, having to replace that full corner. But the problem is there's that, you know, it's not the $1,000 part that usually breaks. It's usually the 10-cent part that breaks.
Yeah.
That'll end up getting you. You know what I mean? That's like Gucci in his line. You know, he didn't have any power, and it was just a dumb line that popped off.
We can't allow that.
No. Higher tiered vibes. Higher tiered vibes, my friend. Did we confirm if Matt Field? I really want to go out on a limb and say that I believe he has never won here at Atlanta.
In terms of confirmation, I'm going to say that that's pretty certain.
Yeah. All right, so again, let's get those lights up once again. We got a packed house. Adam Jabay's tuning in. Jababy, how we doing, buddy? Adam Jababy tuning in. Thank you, guys and gals, all of you for watching. We still have a packed house here. Yeah, let's pull out those lights. Turn them on Saturday night.
Yeah.
You ain't got anywhere else to go but here. So light up the night. Get those camera lights going, the phone lights. Yeah, Matt Field's only win came in 2016, Texas and Irwindale.
Trying to get that triple.
Yeah. Would love to see that for Matt Field. So again, light up the night. Here we go. Larry Chen with the flicks. Baby Send. Spicy Leaf. Jammer. What would it be? Joner Bams. Let's go. Chris Ewell, Joner Bams, is that sufficient? Here we go, send it for the finals. Odie Bakshis out front, Matt Field in the chase position. Who's coming out on top? Odie, missing some of those carbon Kevlar bits, wraps it around that front clip, gets a little closer, doesn't have that bumper on. And look at this, big angle. Matt Field with a big correction.
Oh boy.
And Matt Field, is that considered incomplete? Kind of came out of power, and now coming back down the hill. Guys, is that an incomplete? But the contact, Ryan, I hear you screaming, hooting and hollering. Is that enough? Wow.
I mean, this is a weird situation because the incomplete by Odie comes in the chase. Matt Field couldn't finish his lead run, so they don't have a lead run to compare if the two incompletes in the chase are in fact legit. Odie had one for hitting Matt, right? Now let's take a look at Matt in the chase. Oh man, this is getting interesting. We thought it was over. Matt Field right there brings angle out of the car, and then again coming up the hill, he understeers for a second. The car is struggling. The car is struggling, and Matt, in this critical part right there, he understeers, loses some angle. So the question is, and that one was a little bit more extreme, the question is that an incomplete? Because if it's an incomplete, both drivers in the chase have incompletes. Odie hit Matt, so he didn't have a lead run that the judges could compare it to. Somebody help me.
Help me. Help. The judges are deliberating right now, and they're analyzing just as hard as you are. Oh man, the fans don't want to go home. The fans are screaming. All right, what do you guys think? Do we have a winner? Is it Field? Is it Odie? What do you guys think? Where are my Odie fans at? Where are my Matt Field fans at? Who thinks they should go one more time? So, Here we go to the judges. Survey says, guess what?
You gotta be kidding me.
You know, if this shows up, they're going one more time.
Goodness gracious. Wow.
They're going at it again.
Look at it. Matt Field's team is smiling.
Dude, that was silly. Silly. Yeah, they got to get some fresh rubber underneath, and Falcon Tires being absolutely abused. There we go. Children of all ages.
Oh, she's so sad.
She's a Matt Field fan. She's bummed. She's bummed about it. So they are going at it again. They'll throw some fresh Falcons underneath the vehicle. I mean, look, you can see the traffic over there. If you haven't seen it already, we ain't going anywhere. Rutledge, I'll be there soon, buddy. Might be around 1 a.m. though. Local time 10:20. When we come back, the one more time battle between the frenemies. Are they friends? Are they enemies? A little bit of both. They're frenemies. Odie Bakshis, Matt Field. The finals continue here at round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship.
Don't litter. So as a lot of it looks like some trash from the stands. So hopefully we can pick that up or just blow right off. Here we go. Back to the action. The second run of this battle. Matt Field will now lead. Oh, what's going on here?
Had probably my.
Hey, hold the plate.
I'm Dylan Hughes, Formula Drift Pro driver, and today we're going to talk about Royal Purple HPS and what actually goes into it. There's a lot of talk about additives, and Royal Purple has its proprietary Centerlick technology. It is fortified with a high level of zinc phosphorus anti-wear additive for exceptional protection against heat and wear. Its high film strength improves sealing between the piston ring and cylinder wall for maximum horsepower and torque. Royal Purple HPS, race car technology for the street.
At Holly, we're gearheads too, so we decided to create a one-stop shop for all things automotive, a place we call Motor Life. Motor Life is Holly's new completely free digital magazine that houses the how-to stories, car features, news, and videos that car folks love. To check it out, head on over to motorlife.com and don't forget to subscribe to our Motor Life newsletter so you won't miss any of this great car-centric content.
We are back, baby. Can you feel the heat wave? Yeah, the sun is set, but whew, you can feel the heat coming off that car. These two drivers, both of them just had some flubs talking with their spotters, Chow and Amy, and it's like, what's up? And I don't know. They just didn't have it. They, Field kind of fell on his face there in that chase run, and not the way you want to get it done. So let's see a clean, fair fight, fellas. Let's see what we got, you frenemies.
Looks like somebody. Are they on the phone? What's going on here?
I don't know. Call me maybe.
There's no major activity going on with Field. Does it look like he's changed his tires?
Is that
it was his headset that was reflecting. That's what I looked like.
Ripper just checking the lugs.
No, they are pulling them off, so they haven't changed the tires yet. Obviously, this is the finals. We'll give them opportunity to breathe here. They may have had to. What may have happened here is they ran out of the tire allocation, and they may have had to go get tires from somewhere else. That is not uncommon because of the way that tire allocations work.
Okay, what's going on here?
So we're seeing. There they are. They went and got.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we got to get more.
Yeah.
Check these out.
Okay. Well, I'm seeing some on the truck there. Are those used? They might be used, huh? So yeah, strapping on some freshies, getting some new Falcon meat hooks. Ryan, just a little calm right now. Just chilling, just hanging. As soon as they drop that thing down, though, it's go time. So fresh and so lean.
Yep.
Brand new wheel sponsor for Matt Field, Forge Star. It's on Air Raid. You can see all the sponsors there. RTS, Texas Speed. Met the Texas Speed dudes at Cletus McFarland at the Freedom 500. The Texas Speed dudes were out there. Good cats. Ryan, it's funny because I listened to the Maximum Driftcast. My money was kind of on Odie. I said Chelsea. I think Odie's is hungry. Matt's always kind of I don't want to say a dark horse, but he's just always this kind of like, hey, like pops up out of the corner like, hey, what's going on, guys? Like that. I feel like that's kind of his style. And I don't want to say he comes out of nowhere, but on the Maximum Driftcast podcast, they didn't talk about him until like the last 10 minutes. They're like, oh yeah, we didn't talk about like Matt Field at all, and here he is in the finals.
Yeah.
So I think that's interesting. All right, we got all this teal and blue, but let's talk to another teal and blue driver. Lorette Nickel is with JTP.
Well, JTP is up here in the hot pits, and there is so much craziness and chaos going on. Can you attribute that to the first round butterflies?
I don't even know. Like, it was just like, it's wild, a couple of Falcon cars like smashing into each other. We were down there with Odie, like helping his team put that car back together. I don't know really what happened with Matt with like the whole tire situation, but yeah, I think it's just like we're all trying to get back in the swing of things. We haven't really, last year was just weird. And like, this is the first time in a year and a half that it feels like somewhat normal. So it's good, but on the other hand, like you said, it's probably like the butterflies, like everybody's so excited, they don't really know what to do. And I don't know, man, it's wild, but it's just good to be back here.
Now, how do you guys all, and I know I'm asking you to speak for the entire field, but how do you reset and get ready for Orlando so none of this chaos happens?
I'm just so, like, our weekend started out a little crazy. I got hit, bent a knuckle. By mistake, we didn't have a spare, so we were able to run to a local shop. I used a press to press the knuckle, like, straight again, and then we ran into a throwout bearing issue in qualifying, so we had to drop the transmission out. I had to rebuild the throwout bearing, get it ready for today, and then everything kind of worked out. We had some like good battles and just getting things back together. But honestly, I'm just glad I get to drive the car into the trailer. It's all in one piece. Everything's working really good now and not like it did beginning of this weekend. Some of these guys, they got a lot of work to do.
Well, Justin, I sure appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Jared.
Thank you so much. And I like JTP's stance. I like that. He's like, my car's clean. It's good. Some dudes, they got some work to do, and that's a short 2 weeks. So there it is, the one more time. Odie Bakshis, Matt Field. Larry, did you get the shot? I mean, these fans are going nuts. Hey, Atlanta, who's still out there? I can't hear you. Whoa. Listen to that. I can barely see him. Show yourself. Let me see your lights again. Show yourself out there. I can't see. I see 1, 2 billion stars of light. Look at this. Okay, I see a couple royal purple banger sticks out there. See some lights, see some strobes. Yeah, looks good. Okay, yeah, right on. Thank you guys and gals for sticking around, hardcore fans. So are we all going to the Waffle House after this or what? All-Star Special, scattered, capped, covered, right? Scattered, so my move is, so it's scattered, so smothered is cheese, right? Covered, cubed, chunked, and then capped. I like the shrooms. Here we go. That is Matt Field and Odie Boxey. Nice job there by Matt Field on initiation, going to that first outside zone. Into the second outside zone. Both these guys are dialed. Rip Rourke ready to go into the keyhole. Around that front clip, out of the keyhole, both these drivers go. Now down into the touch and go in that final clip. Looks like we got a full pull here, Ryan. Look at that. Oh, just as I say that. Odie Boxey overshoots, 2 tires off.
I think it was past the finish line.
It was past the finish line. I was over here busy talking about the Dub House, the old Waffle House, man.
Wow. All right. Well, Matt Field looks like he's back in charge here. Nice initiation. You can see e-brake pull, but he's back on throttle just right at that inside clip. Odie was making the right adjustments, but he went a little bit long as he was making the approach to the first inside clip. Now Matt Field gets into that zone. Odie keeping the pressure on, using the grip of that S15 to charge back at Matt Field. Good transition through the smoke line. Here comes Odie. Look at that, right in the pocket there. Battle on hands here going into the night as we try to finish up Road Atlanta. And that was right at the finish line.
That was Sketchball 5000.
Hey-o.
Sketchy Odie. All right. Are we going to get a winner? What do you think, Insta Steve? Insta Big Steve, what do you think? Are we going to get a winner? Either way, it's a Falcon Tire win, baby. Teal and blue, 1 and 2. That's how we do. You could use that in the ad, okay? Teal and blue, 1 and 2, that's how we do. Trademark, there we go. It's all you, thank you. I'll send you my Venmo. All right, speaking of Venmo, talking about getting paid, let's send it Atlanta for potentially the last time here of the evening. Odie Boxey's out front, Matt Field sweating them. Look at this, around that first front clip. Oh man, Matt Field, he is a man possessed. Odie Boxey's filling all that outside zone 1, outside zone 2. Field taking a shallower line, but look at Matt Field. Oh man, he took a shallower line. He had a correction, exiting out of the keyhole, and then back up the hill. Woo! Matt looked like 2020 Matt Field there. He looked like a Tasmanian devil, little blah 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 blah. Like he was going for it when he came out of the keyhole. He did have that correction, and then I saw the judges kind of like, face in hands.
Well, they started even at the beginning of this battle, and now one driver is gonna win here tonight. After a crazy one more time, we find ourselves here with Odie going deep into outside zone 2. Matt Field sticking to him on the door, transitioning back around. There's that flub that he makes on the transition, leaving the keyhole. Odie's trying to stretch out his lead and gapping Matt Field towards the end. There it is again. You can see he got a little unstuck as he was just in the wrong position on the track. Odie firing through that last inside clip. And ladies and gentlemen, it is a battle here on our hands. Here's the FPV coming down. Excessive speeds, mid-90s sometimes from these guys, flying into that first corner. And you can see right there, Field comes off that first outside zone a little bit early, doesn't follow Odie all the way out to the second. But he's keeping the proximity there, and here, this is where he makes that mistake. Look at the front wheels. That was quite a bit of time to be straight with those front wheels when you're drifting, and we saw a pretty solid shot of it there from the FPV drone, which is not the kind of evidence you want if you're looking to take the win here. If we have a winner, we'll bring them down. If you see the scorecard go up, you know what that means. You ready to do your thing? This will be the first time.
What's my thing?
Hey, in third place, this guy. Hey.
Oh yeah. Oh, why do you downplay? Dude, obviously you don't like it, Ryan. You ready to do your thing, Ryan? You ready to hate Ryan? Oh man. Whew. All right. I am ready to do my thing. I am ready to do my thing. I'm excited. Hey, Atlanta, did you guys have fun tonight? Make some noise. Oh, come on. Come on. Atlanta, on 3, yell send it for me, okay? Because we didn't do that because I got a little overzealous talking about Waffle House. A little hungry over here. So on 3, I need you to yell send it as loud as possible, okay? 1, 2, 3. Yo, thank you guys. Thank you, Atlanta, so much for coming out here and joining us, sticking around. Hard charging, hard parting. Here's our BC Racing custom coilover side-by-side instant replay, Ryan.
Well, what do you guys at home think? Is it Odie Bakchis or Matt Field? We find ourselves here after a really crazy one more time battle where it looked like Matt Field had it in the bag. Obviously, the car was not fully functional. He got it incomplete in his chase. The judges had no choice but to go one more time, and so we do it again. Odie, Sans, quite a few parts on the vehicle. Still looks like he is on point and charging, and it looks like we do have a result, so we are going to bring the drivers down. We know who third place is.
All right, so we do have a winner, as Ryan just stated. We'll bring him over there. We'll bring him right here in the horseshoe. We know third place, but who gets the win here in Atlanta?
Oh man, what a weekend, what a week.
Yo, so awesome to just think about, you know, what we've all endured, you know, as far as the home life, as far as, you know, the vehicles and watching everything from a distance. It's great to be next to you.
It's so awesome.
It's great. It's absolutely insane.
A smidget of normality and everything that's crazy is going on. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to Orlando. I've done a couple events out there in Florida with Cletus McFarland. Shout out to Hell Yeah, brother. Yeah, I got it. Yep. As Florida will be awesome. Orlando Speed World in just a couple weeks. If you're here in the building, join us at the podium. But join us, again, scorched. Here are our 3 drivers. And one will be crowned the winner of Atlanta. We talked about, you know, and there it is, some celebratory donuts. Well, here we go, those 3 vehicles coming up to the infamous horseshoe. And there he is, your defending champion, Vaughn Gittin Jr. Got that 3rd place podium. Your defending and 2-time champion, stepping outside of his vehicle, a great place to be given just the fierce competition, an awesome display of horsepower. Make some noise for your 3rd place finisher here, round 1 of the Formula Drift Pro Championship, Royal Purple Road to the Championship, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts. 3rd place, Vaughn Gittin Jr. All right, and now your winner here at round 1. Where it all began in 2004, celebrating 18 years of Formula Drift after 700 plus days of not being back here at this iconic track. It feels good, Atlanta. Make some noise for all our drivers. It's a win-win for everybody, but it's a win 1 and 2 for the teal and blue. That's how we do. Your winner here at Road Atlanta. Pilots a Falcon Tire vehicle, has a V8 under the hood, is one of 2 frenemies, and the winner is unanimous. Odie Bakchis! Odie Bakchis gets the win, and Matt Field gets 2nd place Falcon Tire 1 and 2, Odie Bakshis in the Falcon Tires field suspension. S15 gets the win. Matt Field, your number 1 qualifier, comes up just a bit short, gets second place in that Falcon Tires Drift Cave Corvette. Vaughn Gittin Jr. rounds out the podium with that Monster Energy Nitto Tire Ford Performance Mustang RTR Spec 5D. Lorette Nickel is down there. She is going to wrap out with Odie Bakshis. Lorette?
Odie, congratulations. Your first win of 2021. Amazing. Round number 1. Man, when you were lining up on that hill with Matt Field, what was going through your mind?
You know, I was honestly, I'd say I was too excited. We run together all the time in much more tamer cars, not full-blown, pro cars, and I think we just got comfortable. I got comfortable running in demo cars, and when I chased him, I went hard. I wanted to go hard for all of you guys, put on a good show. I typically love chasing, and when I get to chase a straight-up driver like Matt, I go all in. And yeah, I believe I overcooked it quite a bit. I just laid down as good of a run on the other battle. Honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna think to myself that I pushed Matt's car pretty hard to the point where he had trouble making the second run. So it's kind of a bittersweet. Matt was killing it, and it was a really, really fun event. I really just wish that we didn't have to bump into each other. I wish that I didn't have to run into him and run cleaner, but the car's batched up overall. Thank you so much for my team for keeping that thing going. We got hit over and over again, and I can't believe it's still running. It might not actually run very well after this. We're going to have to put in a lot of work, but hats off to Formula Drift for putting on a great event, and thank you for letting us play out here.
Odie Bakshis, congratulations. Round number 1 win. Jared?
Yeah, thank you, Lorette. Thank you so much on behalf of the whole team here. Ryan, just your thoughts in closing.
Thank you, Road Atlanta. It was an amazing experience to the track and especially to all the fans, everybody coming together to make this round 1 of the 2021 championship. It was sensational. Great way to kick things off. Thanks to production. It feels good to be back, and I'm hoping for a great season. Thank you, guys.
I love it. Thank you so much. On behalf of all the Formula Drift staff, I'm Jared Deanna, Lorette Nickel, Ryan Sage, our judges, everybody. Thank you to the Formula Drift family. We're back. Bigger, better, badder, nastier than ever. Congratulations to our podium finishers, Vaughn Gittin Jr.,